about the topic of field trips, and we're going to be reading 3 different points of views, okay? So as we read about our topic of field trip, these are our learning targets. So our first one is that I can determine essential details from 2 different points of view. We even have 3 different points of view, so we're going above and beyond. I can determine important similarities in the different points of view, and I can analyze multiple accounts of the same topic. Okay, so we're going to start with jump-in reading, and I'm going to have Kaylin be my first reader. We're going to read Mrs. Bloom, a 5th grade teacher. How does she feel about field trips? Go ahead, Kaylin.
I completely support students attending
Full of each other? Okay, so the first thing we want to do is determine how does this teacher feel. I know that usually the belief statement comes in the first or the last sentence. And not always, but a lot of the time that's where it is. So when I look back here, I did highlight that first sentence. I completely support students attending field trips. And look at the next, or the last sentence. Field trips are a valuable part of education. Both of those sentences tell me how the teacher feels about field trips. So will you highlight her 2 belief statements? Now, I want you to think on your own. So this is a you do. Would you find 2 important details in that point of view that support this teacher's belief? If she thinks that field trips are valuable for education, can you find 2 sentences that support her belief? Once you found the 2 that you think are the most important. Excellent. Okay, will you turn and talk with your partner, share your details, pick out the very best one that you would like to share with the group. Okay, go ahead, turn and talk.
describe their learning in class with what they experience on the field trip.
Okay, really good. I think I hear some of you saying, you took mine, or have the same ones, right? Is that good that we have the same details? Does that mean that you picked some that are essential? Good. Let's have this group. How about Lizzie? Will you share with us which one did you guys choose?
Me and him both got these types of field trips help the learning come alive for kids.
Help the learning come alive for the kids. Excellent. I see some other head nods. Are there any other details you thought were very important, which would be essential? Savannah?
My students are able to make connections to what they are learning in class with what they experience on the field trip.
Excellent. Very good. Okay, so what you just did was that you determined some essential details from this teacher's point of view. Here's how you could write this if you had to put it into like a written explanation. Okay, so here would be your question. Does the teacher have a positive or negative view of field trips? We all said positive, right? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. So here's an example. The teacher has a positive view of field trips. I know this because the text says, I completely support students attending field trips. I put that in quotations because it's right from the text. And field trips are a valuable part of education. The teacher also gives examples of field trips that help learning come alive for students, like aquariums and the symphony. Okay, is that a lot of what we said? Excellent. Let's read account number 2. Michael Leavenworth, he's a 5th grade student. We're going to do choral reading, okay? Everybody ready? And field trips. Good reading. Okay, so this was a 5th grade student. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I want you to highlight his belief statement. Remember, usually you can find the belief statement either the first sentence or the last sentence. It's usually the beginning or the end. How does this student feel about field trips? Liz, you go ahead. I see many of you highlighting the last sentence. Thumbs up if you did the last sentence. Ooh, good. What does this student believe? He